This is what the tail of hairless cats looks like. This cat had its tail shaved at the veterinarian's office. Adam from north of the border created chilling and truly monstrous versions of Zuli and Mike from Monsters, Inc. Did you know that elevators make different sounds depending on whether they are going up or down? The ones going up make one sound, while the ones going down make two. This is a squid egg, a cousin of squids. Only 2 out of every 3,000 of these offspring make it to adulthood. The Lion King was originally going to be called King of the Jungle, until the Disney team remembered that lions do not live in the jungle. Korean toys are on another level. Does it look like real food? Check out these noodles with egg and salmon. This is the interior of the Dragon passenger capsule, which takes astronauts from Earth to the International Space Station. It's quite small, as you can see. It only has seats and screens. This is the view from one of its windows. The coasts of Finistère in France are victims of a very strange environmental problem. At certain times, Garfield-shaped phones wash up on the beach. This is due to a sunken container that slowly releases the phones into the sea. This is the Ludovico desk. No, not that Ludovico. It was designed by industrial engineer Claudio Civile. As you can see, it's quite compact. It fits practically anywhere. Dino plays video games in a unique way using musical instruments, from a Guitar Hero guitar, a flute, to bongos. He makes it look easy. Watch him win a game of Warzone. Can you believe that an underwater fashion show took place in Florida in 1955? It looks quite interesting. This is an asymmetrical supercar. Each side is different. One side is to drive it like you would any other vehicle, and the other is for moments when you don't want to drive. This is where you'll sit when you want the car, which drives itself to take you wherever you want. Squirrels make a peculiar sound when they want to scare birds away from their food. Have you ever seen an invisible boat? These boats, called clear boat, are completely transparent so you can see the underwater world without getting wet. This is how sea turtles are cleaned to prevent the growth of algae and bacteria on their skin. It looks like they enjoy the massage. Do you struggle to parallel park? This video could help you. The first step is to align your car with the rear seats and turn the steering wheel. Once you reach the height of the rear view mirror, turn the other way. Japanese kitchen knives are so sharp that they can cut ice without breaking it. This photograph of the city of Almaty in Kazakhstan may look edited, but it's completely real. It was taken by Igor Yefimovs in January 2014. The gray smoke is pollution. It doesn't mix with the air above due to the temperature difference. Cats' collarbones are not connected to their shoulders. This allows them to pass through incredibly narrow spaces. In winter, ladybugs gather in large groups to hibernate. This helps regulate their temperature, find a mate, and food. This is how people in the past prevented their candles from burning completely if they fell asleep. They were called automatic snuffers, a kind of ring that closed at a certain height. From the airport on the Caribbean island of St. Barth, airplanes pass incredibly close to cars. This is how pencil sharpeners looked like in 1890. Their mechanism was a bit different from today's. This is how beers and sodas are poured into aluminum cans to prevent beers from foaming and sodas from releasing gas. These are two of the rarest apple varieties in the world, the white ghost apple and the black diamond apple. Which one do you crave? A cyclic homeless built a gaming PC inside a toilet tank. It is fully functional, and the LED lights turn on when you flush. Brachydactyla long thumb syndrome makes people's thumbs incredibly long. This is Jacob Pina, and his finger measures over 13 centimeters. This is what happens when you step on a puffball mushroom. Don't feel bad for them. In fact, they want you to step on them, as this is how they reproduce and spread their spores. This is the UFO burger. Now you'll see why. At first glance, it looks like a normal burger, but when served, the bun is filled in this machine, closing it and giving it the appearance of a flying saucer. The restaurant chain is called UFO. This is a prominent lobster, and it's not a crustacean. It's actually a caterpillar of a moth. It's likely named that way because it looks like a marine animal. The horned screamer is the unicorn of birds. These animals have a long cartilage spike in the middle of their foreheads. They don't use it as a weapon as it is quite fragile and can break. It's more of an ornament. This is the first recorded victim of a shark attack. It was found in the Peruvian village of La Paloma and is approximately 6,000 years old. The child was buried without a leg and with bite marks on the arm and hip. This was the shift change at Carillon Lighthouse, one of the most dangerous in the world. Watch how they go up and down a rope. Fortunately, it was automated in 2004, and no one is inside anymore. On August 5, 2020, Curiosity, the Mars rover, celebrated 10 years since landing on the red planet. To celebrate, the 100,000 lawnmowers sang Happy Birthday from Earth. This is Microlino, a small electric car for 2 people. It charges in just 4 hours and has a range of up to 230 kilometers. Check out the parking spots. In Denmark, there is a Lego restaurant called Mini Chef where you have to build your own food with bricks. Each piece represents an ingredient. Once you assemble it, you scan it, and they start preparing it. When it's ready, it travels on a rail to the delivery area. This is the heaviest mango in the world. 4.25 kilograms. It was grown in Colombia. Did you know that one of the scarers from Monsters, Inc. enters Sid's room from Toy Story? Take a close look at that poster. Now, let's watch Toy Story. It's the same poster that was in Sid's room. Now we know why he got so scared. Check out the new miniature attraction at Jurassic Park in Mini World Lion, the largest animated miniature park in France. You can find many moments from the first movie, like the gate or the sick Triceratops. If you want to design a space but don't have much knowledge of programs or architectural design, try 3D Home Styler. It's completely free and easy to use. You can design your future room or any space in your house. This is the potential of combining robotics, 3D projection mapping, and an actor's work in perfect sync. It's a 5-minute short film called Vox. 2 high-definition screens, 3 industrial robotic arms, and an actor manipulating them were used. If you ever visit Disneyland, you'll notice something strange in Walt Disney's photos. His hand always has the same position. This is because he often smoked a cigarette, which was edited out along with the smoke to set a good example for children. This is a Percebe biota. They live along rocky coastlines and feed through filtration. They attach themselves to rocks or the bottom of boats and spend the rest of their lives in this position. YouTuber Matthew Beam built the largest statue in Minecraft to date. It is of the skin of YouTuber Technoblade, who was recently diagnosed with cancer. The video aims to encourage people to donate to research on this disease. Did you know that you can stay in the house from home alone on the Airbnb website? As you can see, the property has the original furniture and decorations from the movie. Poimo is an inflatable electric scooter that can be folded and stored in a backpack. It is still a prototype, but we may see them on the streets in the future. Bolt is the first roller coaster integrated on a cruise ship. These are the incredible views you will see on board. Tear stick is a wax cylinder, similar to a lipstick, with menthol and camphor extracts, which help actors cry during sad scenes in movies. It is only applied under the eye. The heat of the skin releases the menthol and camphor vapors, which induce the formation of real tears. Shintaro Okamoto encapsulates moments, experiences, and objects inside blocks of ice. These are some of his creations. He uses all kinds of artifacts to keep them in the right place before the water freezes. Look at the size that Aldabra tortoises can reach. A group of Korean architects wants to build buildings in the hollow trunks of the world's tallest trees, the sequoias. The idea is that when a tree dies, its interior is conditioned as a building where environmental preservation research can be carried out. A group of Star Wars fans managed to get the city council of the Polish town of Grabowicz to name a street in their city after Star Wars. This is not a German Shepherd puppy. In fact, he is over 2 years old. Ranger suffers from pituitary dwarfism, a congenital deficiency of the growth hormone. Although dwarfism may not be dangerous, if left untreated, it can drastically reduce life expectancy. Can you imagine climbing 646 meters to change a light bulb? This is one of the jobs of radio and telecommunications tower climbers. It is changed every 6 months. Introducing the Torrid Pulse, a device that shoots compressed air rings underwater. It connects to the low-pressure port of the scuba tank and launches up to 35 bubble rings. Looks fun, right? I bet you didn't know that airplane cabins are so flexible. These are the rigorous tests they undergo before their first flight. This is an interactive machine that teaches you how to perform CPR in various airports in the United States. In just 5 minutes, you can learn to save a life. Did you know what the numbers on fruit labels mean? If it has only 4 digits, it means it has been conventionally grown using pesticides. If the fruit or vegetable has a 5-digit code starting with the number 8, it means it is genetically modified. If it has a 5-digit code starting with the number 9, it means it has been grown without pesticides or fertilizers, meaning it is organic. 3D advertisements are becoming more common. This one was made by the company Blonde Action and is located in New York. Have you ever wondered why some sweaters or hoodies have this triangle on the neck? Originally, its function was to collect sweat around the chest after exercise. This prevents sweat from deforming or stretching the neck. This strange Japanese trend involves cutting your pet's hair to make it look like a cube. They resemble Minecraft dogs. Speaking of dogs, these are the 25 most used canine breeds in the history of cinema. So far, 562 German Shepherds have appeared in movies, 284 Bulldogs, and 209 Poodles. If you want to see the complete list, pause the video. Did you ever imagine that Kentucky Fried Chicken's Colonel Sanders would be the protagonist of a romantic novel? The Tender Desires is a story that narrates the erotic romance between the Colonel and a woman from the Victorian era. Once again, robots are taking our jobs. Stanley Robotics has created the world's first robot valet parking system. Watch it in action. In this adorable ad by the Polly brand, we can see Lucas making the world's smallest cup of coffee from a single coffee bean. In this video by the YouTube channel Spots, we can see what the sky would look like if we replaced the sun with other stars. This is how it would look with Electro, with Capella, and with Arcturus. It seems chasing lasers is not just for cats. Did you know that in Japan, there are restaurants that heat soup with stones? This technique is called yaki-ishi. It is very efficient, heating the broth almost immediately. This is how visually impaired sprinters participate in the Paralympic Games. They are accompanied by a guide who ensures the athlete stays in the correct lane. This was the Game Boy printer, a small printer that connected to the Game Boy along with the Game Boy camera. You could print your photos instantly. They weren't very good quality. Did you know that elephants sweat through their feet? This is how they look on a hot day. Watch this incredible jump. It was performed by French motocross pilot Tom Pages. It was recorded as the first base jump with a backflip on a motorcycle. The pilot was propelled at over 80 kilometers per hour at over 55 meters height. Look at the incredible amount of water flowing from this tree. The inside of the tree rotted and the water rose through the hollow trunk. Drivers in Siberia must know how to drift. Watch how they drive on the frozen streets of the city without any problem. In this video, we can see the incredible speed of reindeer. See how they keep pace with this train at over 50 kilometers per hour. Did you know that if you throw Vans sneakers in the air, they will always land upright? Try it and you'll see it's true. This happens because their soles are much heavier compared to the top. See how Zenit St. Petersburg players entered the field carrying dogs. This was done to promote adoption. This is the red pool in Thailand. The water in it is not actually red. The trick is in the tiles. If you look closely, you'll see red, yellow, and orange tiles. The combination of these colors creates an optical illusion that makes the water look red. What is this? Some kind of liquid? Plastic trash? The ghost of an eel? This undulating creature is a larval stage of a ribbon eel called a leptocephalus. This is the wing of an airplane, and this is why drones are prohibited in airports. The Zioneus excavate is the most elegant mosquito in the world. Its metallic blue color contrasts with the silver spots on its abdomen. Its legs have elongated scales that look like feathers. If James Bond had a pen, it would be this one. The pyro pen launches small pieces of paper lit in the air. Its creators claim it is not dangerous as the flame extinguishes almost immediately. The days when motorcyclists had to put their feet down at a traffic light may have come to an end. This new system called Honda Riding Assist allows the motorcycle to stand autonomously and move without the need for a driver. Remember the iconic scene from Spider-Man 2 where Peter tries to jump from one building to another but ends up falling from a great height? This is how it was filmed. The scene was shot by a stunt double carefully held by a crane. These are the 6 women that Mattel used as inspiration for their Role Models doll line, or role models. They stood out for their work in the healthcare field during this pandemic. One of them is Sarah Gilbert, the professor who led the creation of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. A group of Korean architects wants to build buildings in the hollow trunks of the world's tallest trees, the sequoias. The idea is that when a tree dies, its interior is conditioned as a building where environmental preservation research can be carried out. This is the kinglet, a small bird that always looks sad. Look at what may be under the sand and you won't even know. This condition is called drumstick fingers, and it increases the amount of soft tissue in the nail bed. It is not known exactly why this happens, but sometimes it occurs in people with diseases that lower blood oxygen levels. This was the first photo ever taken from another planet. It's Jupiter, captured by Andrew Ainsley in 1879 using a reflector. This is a virtual reality roller coaster simulator. This is the most exclusive credit card in the world, the Dubai First Royal. Very few people in the world have it. In the center, it has an embedded diamond, and the yellow on the edges is gold. This is how they made the DV-8 drum move in Star Wars. A person in a green suit was in charge of its movements. You didn't expect that, did you? A small television that plays episodes from the first 11 seasons of The Simpsons at random. Would you like to have one? Here are the instructions, although let me tell you that it's not easy. She is Rumeysa Gelgi, the tallest woman in the world. She is 2.15 meters tall and also has the longest hands, almost 25 centimeters. In 1663, a partially fossilized skeleton of a woolly rhinoceros was discovered in Germany, missing many bones. This is what they did with it. The Magdeburg unicorn is one of the worst fossil reconstructions in human history. It may sound unbelievable, but these skulls belong to the same animal species. Both are dog skulls. One is from a borzoi, and the other is from a pug. Collectively, humanity has played the Call of Duty video game series for over 25 billion hours, which is 2.85 million years. This is the new prototype from the Vivo smartphone brand. It has a drone that comes out of the case. The idea is interesting. You take out the drone, let it fly, and the drone follows you, taking photos or videos from a distance. The women of the Baka tribe in Africa make music using their hands and the river's water. Truly, a somewhat strange cultural custom. Karakuri puppets are Japanese automatic mechanized figures made from the 17th to the 19th century. The word karakuri means trick or hidden mechanism in Japanese. This is one of Craig Walsh's art installations, projecting faces of people onto trees, making them look lifelike. This is a Chinese thread book, a kind of origami sewing kit used in the past to store embroidery materials like threads and needles. Each square is a storage place, even the larger ones. You can find tutorials on how to make them on YouTube. See how the frozen surface of a lake breaks endlessly. This phenomenon is known as ice stacking. It occurs when thin layers of ice break, and warming causes the broken pieces to slide on top of each other. Geyser was the smartest border collie in the world. She had a vocabulary of over 1,000 words, including the names of 800 plush toys. Watch how her owner tested her by randomly picking a group of toys and asking her to bring one at a time. It's impressive. These children are cousins and siblings at the same time. This happens when two twins marry two twin sisters. The children are not siblings but cousins, but they share the same DNA. In theory, they are also siblings. Some people have the incredible ability to speak backwards. They are called backward speakers. Alberto Vasquez is a person with these abilities. This was an old quarry where stone and other raw materials for construction were extracted. When it stopped working, people flooded it and placed some curious things at the bottom, from a school bus to a small plane. It would be incredible to dive here. This is called the banana pose. No, we're not joking. That's what scientists call it. Seals adopt this position when they feel safe and happy. They also do it to regulate their temperature and keep their extremities dry. The 1960 horror movie 13 Ghosts came with a two-color stripe viewer, one blue and one red. The idea was to use them whenever one of the movie's characters put on the glasses to see ghosts. If you looked through the blue stripe, you wouldn't see the ghosts, but if you used the red one, you would. I wish today's movies had ideas like this. This is how people used to wake up in Manchester in the 50s. They hired these people to play a certain hour on their windows. While watching this video, there are around 2,000 lightning storms developing in different parts of the world. This company called Cosmic Eye LA takes photos of your iris and prints them in high definition. You can choose a portrait of your own eye, or the eyes of all your family members. This episode of The Simpsons saved the life of a drowning child. No joke, a man prevented a child from drowning by performing the well-known Heimlich maneuver. When asked how he knew about it, he said he learned it from The Simpsons. Don't have or don't know how to use chopsticks? Here's the solution for you. Can you believe that in 1910, when Halley's Comet passed close to Earth, some smart people took advantage of the ignorance of others by selling anti-comet pills? This is how the stadiums of the future will be. See how with a system they remove the grass and store it underground. They water it and project UV rays to keep it in perfect condition. Meanwhile, the stadium can be used for other things like concerts, conventions, and even other sports events. What sound do you think a marmot makes? I assure you it's quite exotic. This is one of Claudia Bueno's art installations. In this particular one, she painted 60 glass panels with different patterns. See what happens when she projects a light source onto them. It's beautiful. The power of lightning. It's terrifying. Did you know that the adult entertainment magazine Playboy had a Braille version for blind people? Pumbaa was the first Disney character to fart on screen. Did you know that every year in the United States there is a Tyrannosaurus Rex race? See it for yourself. The Swedish car company Volvo plans to build autonomous vehicles with themes of home and work rooms. For example, you can choose to travel in an office if you need to work, a dining room, a meeting room, or even a bedroom if you plan to take a long trip. This is one of the most interesting mobile phones that have hit the market. The Sony Ericsson Xperia Pureness had a transparent LED screen. When it was launched in 2009, it cost almost $1,000. Have you ever seen a crocodile run? No? They can reach speeds of up to 20 kilometers per hour. They look like dinosaurs. In Japan, there is something called a circuit safari or racing safari, where you can board a bus that goes around a racetrack while race car drivers practice. Did you know that there are toilets that work with fire instead of water? They are used in places where there is no drainage. To use them, you place a paper bag that rests on a metal surface. You must be wondering, do you burn yourself when you sit down? No, combustion starts when you press this button. Did you know you can open a can with a marker? Friction causes the aluminum to bend in and out. Eventually, the metal cannot withstand the pressure and explodes. In South Korea and other Asian countries, many employees feel pressured to work overtime after hours to please their bosses. To avoid this, Samsung created the Mindful Mouse, a computer mouse that literally runs away from you when your workday is over. Were you aware of this sport? It's called fistball or faustball. Like in volleyball, the ball is hit with hands and arms, however. In faustball, it can bounce once in your own field between each touch. How old were you when you found out that ice rinks are not naturally white? That's how they look before they are painted white. This strange animal is an Australian frog-mouthed chick. It looks like a small furry puppet. Herman Exotic has a jumping spider as a pet. They are quite gentle and patient, and although they do have fangs, they rarely bite anything larger than themselves. Watch how it drinks water. This is the new technology Real Madrid uses in their training. Check out this interactive wall that goes up when a free kick is taken. This is the largest airplane graveyard in the world. It is located on a military base in the Arizona desert. Here lie the metallic corpses of over 4,000 disused planes. Did you know that in Korea and other Asian countries there are exclusive parking spaces for women? This is to prevent them from feeling harassed. Did you know that an entire basketball court can fit just inside the penalty area of a soccer field? A basketball court measures 15 by 28 meters, while a soccer field's penalty area measures 16 by 40 meters. Have you ever paid attention to the limbs of chameleons? They divide it into two parts like a pair of pliers. One side has 2 fingers and the other 3. These help them grip branches firmly. DJ kittens. Look at what happened in China in 2016 during the Autumn Festival celebration. The winds of a typhoon caused a giant moon-shaped balloon to roll through the streets. What would you do if you saw this coming towards you? These are the blue ice caves beneath the glaciers of Iceland. They form in the summer when the sun melts water, creating tunnels. They can be visited in winter. A video like the one you are watching now has between 24 and 60 frames per second on average. See how it looks at 1,000 frames per second. Did you know that dogs raise and educate cheetah cubs in captivity? Cheetahs are naturally shy and skittish, so dogs teach them to be confident and socialize. For the first time in the history of the Miss England pageant, a woman who does not wear a drop of makeup won. Were you familiar with this musical instrument? It is a jaw harp, or also called a morchang. It is played with the finger, tongue, and mouth. One of the rarest instruments in the world. Silver is a good conductor of electricity and heat. Look how quickly it melts ice when it touches it. Have you ever seen a baby hedgehog? They are very tiny. To celebrate the 6th anniversary of Pokémon Go, Niantic organized a show with 700 drones, forming the most relevant characters. Truly amazing. Space glass is a blown glass sphere with metals and crystals in multiple layers. Inside, you can find planets and stars. It's like having a piece of space in your hands. See what it looks like when light is projected onto it. This is the Imolent MS-18, the most powerful handheld flashlight in the world. See the difference with a smartphone flash. First indoors and now outdoors. Aeroplume is a personal dirigible balloon with flapping wings that you use as oars to move through the air. It is in France and costs only €60 per person. It looks quite fun. Ernest Trump holds the world record for the highest jump from a trampoline, 13 meters high. This is the largest bush in the world. It measures 18,000 square meters. It is 400 years old and its tallest part measures 16.5 meters. This is how blind people send messages and write on their phones. The option is called Braille input, and as you can see on the screen, there are 6 numbers. By combining different gestures and buttons, the letters of the alphabet are created. Did you know that some species of turtles change scales? This happens as they grow. Did you know that bees can regret stinging? It is an uncommon behavior, and Elisha Vixler managed to capture it on camera. As you may already know, when these insects sting, they lose their lives because they pull the sting, tearing their abdomen. But occasionally, they regret it, and instead of pulling, they make these movements to dislodge the stinger and continue living. This is why pregnant women get ultrasounds and not MRIs. This is how fetuses look in MRIs. Have you ever wondered where your home was 300 million years ago? Ian Webster created an interactive map that shows the movements of the Earth in the last 750 million years. This is Spy Hippo, a robotic spy animal shaped like a hippopotamus that captures the movement of these animals underwater. Did you know that they often walk and do not swim? Saturn is the planet in our solar system with the most moons. See how many there are. Wait, those are not all. There are a total of 82. This Howard Castle made of Lego pieces is the largest in the world. It used over 1 million bricks. Look at the detail of the interiors. Did you know that cocoa is hydrophobic? This means that it repels water, or in this case, milk, when it comes into contact with it. This lizard is not dancing. This is how the shovel-snouted lizard avoids burning its limbs on the hot sand while resting. Once it catches its breath, it leaves. Every year, in different parts of the world, the Rubber Duck Derby takes place. People pay an amount of money for a duck with a number. A boat pushes the ducks with a hose along a canal. The first one to reach here wins. If your duck wins, you receive a prize, like a car or cash. The proceeds are donated to charity. This is how soda was served in the past. Soda shops made it on the spot, adding the syrup and carbonated water separately. Some added a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Luke 99 built a plush vending machine with only Lego pieces. It is fully functional. Even the claw is made of blocks. Did you know that stall number 1 in public bathrooms is usually the cleanest? This is because it is closest to the door and people are embarrassed to use the bathroom here. But look at the difference in bacteria count. This is how Magnum popsicles are made. This machine cuts the ice cream and deposits it onto a frozen conveyor belt. Another machine hits the belt to prevent sticking. Finally, they are transported to another machine that dips them in chocolate. This is the world's smallest console. It's called Thumb and measures just 3x 1.8 centimeters. It has a screen of 72x 40 pixels, 2 MB of storage memory, and a speaker. It comes with 5 preloaded games. Uncombable hair syndrome is a rare scalp anomaly. The condition is characterized by dry, curly hair that grows in different directions, making it virtually impossible to comb. Artist Idrale Jiao creates realistic versions of animated characters. Here you can see Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, Dash from The Incredibles, Joe Gardner from Soul, Bruno and Maribel Madrigal. Check out her Instagram to see more of her creations. Manatee lips are prehensile. Each side moves independently of the other. It's as if they have fingers. Watch how it grabs this rope. This is how instant ramen is made. First, a machine mixes flour, salt, and water to create a dough. Another machine cuts the dough into thin noodles that travel to a container. Here they are steamed and dehydrated. Finally, they are transferred along with the seasonings to their disposable packaging. Kaido Geba shows us what happens when a guide dog for people with visual disabilities needs to go to the bathroom. First, the dogs look for an area with soil or grass. Once they find it, they circle around their owner. When the owner realizes, they give a command signaling the dog to urinate or defecate. In this case, the word busy. When the owner feels the dog has stopped moving, he touches his back to determine if he is urinating or defecating. If the animal's back is straight, it means it has peed. If it's curved, it's number 2, so you have to pick it up. These are Festo's flying penguins, a group of autonomous robots filled with helium that float in a designated area. They should be placed in all shopping centers. This is the fried egg jellyfish. Do you have any doubt why it's called that? It feeds on sunlight like a plant. This fish is known as the potato pufferfish because of its resemblance to a potato. They spend most of their lives buried in the sand. It's very common for cockatoos to dance to the beat of music. These animals love to imitate things and have very good hearing. They move their head and feet, imitating the rhythm. She is Jessica Jacinto, a Venezuelan model with Down syndrome. She aims to eliminate stereotypes in the industry and seek greater inclusion for all people who dream of being part of the fashion world. Check out her Instagram to follow her. Can you imagine making a bubble the size of your body? Mr. Hacker teaches us how to do it in our homes. All you need is a flexible plastic tube, like the one for vacuums, and soapy water. Cut the tube in half and stick both ends together to form a circle. Cut a cable shape from a circle. The result is amazing and fun. Did you know that seals and sea lions have nails? These, along with their flippers, help them groom themselves. They are undoubtedly aquatic dogs. This is how the leaves of many plants grow. They develop little by little. Did you know that some computer processors generate so much heat you can cook on them? It's not easy, as you have to leave the food for several hours. Don't try it. It's very dangerous. This is how they teach orangutans raised in captivity to fear snakes. This curious device called Pedisedate was used to sedate children without causing stress before surgery. It consists of headphones connected to a portable video game console. This conduit released nitrous oxide, an anesthetic gas, to help children fall asleep peacefully. Very strange but functional. This is an inventor of useless machines. This is his latest invention, a machine that feeds him a 5-course meal. Sports motorcyclists' suits have airbags inside. In the event of an impact, they deploy in 15 milliseconds, protecting the upper arms, elbows, and neck of the rider, ensuring instant protection upon falling. This is the mouth size of the megalodon, the biggest shark that ever existed. This is how elephants chew and swallow their food. Many insects, such as some species of beetles, are covered in a bitter substance to deter predators from eating them. This frog learned it the hard way. This is Diamond Beach in Iceland. Pieces of ice break off a glacier and end up on the black sand beach. This is what 1,000,000 dead mosquitoes look like. They were caught by a mosquito magnet, a trap with an attractant chemical that sucks insects in. This is one of the routines seen in the World Yo-Yo Championship final. Their skill is incredible. Giant tarantulas have tiny frogs as pets. The spiders protect the frogs from predators, and in return, the frogs eat insects that eat their eggs. 3 million children are taken to the hospital each year for swallowing Lego pieces. Because of this, the term legotomia was invented in hospitals. In ancient Rome, if you were able to distinguish these 2 stars of the Big Dipper constellation with the naked eye, you were chosen as an archer in the Roman army, one of the first visual tests in history. This is how artificial lakes are filled with fish. They travel in a container and are emptied through a hose. Helium makes your voice sound higher. But did you know there are other gases that make your voice sound deeper? One of them is sulfur hexafluoride. There is one that makes the voice even deeper, that is perfluoromethane. Did you know there's an internet trend or challenge that involves aligning a part of your body with a book cover? Here you can see some of the best so far. The Danish underwater band Between Music has created instruments and microphones that can sound while submerged in water. The result is truly magical, like nothing you've heard before. If you spend a lot of time on the computer or playing video games on it, you'll love this keyboard. It can be separated into 2. If you wish, you can choose to use only one half while playing. This is how Mars, Venus, and Earth look today, and this is how it was 4 billion years ago. It seems this is real and not just in cartoons. Dewey Bracer is a racing track where you pedal a monorail suspended 2 meters high along a 200-meter track. It is located in New Zealand. It looks like a lot of fun. This is how special effects were made for the 1958 film A Diabolic Invention. This is the sound made by longhorn grasshoppers when they feel threatened. Crickets and grasshoppers produce a peculiar sound by rubbing their wings when they feel threatened. This is what happens when you combine a desktop magnetism toy, 910, with a bubble wand and some smoke. Did you know that there were female gladiators? They were called gladi. At the San Bartolome Airport, they give free haircuts. This is the roundabout in the city of Khobar, Saudi Arabia. It uses the grid barrier animation principle. Watch how the horses move as you pass by. I don't think it's very safe. Augmented reality tattoos already exist. You just need an app on your phone or special glasses to see them. This is what happens when you type cha-cha slide on Google. This football match was played at over 6 kilometers in height aboard a zero-gravity craft. The team of former footballer Luis Figo scored 2 goals. Fully automated robots pick apples from the crops without humans needing to intervene. This is the highest swing in the world. It is located in China. Its initial height is 100 meters, but when it swings over the cliff, its total height is 700 meters. It reaches speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour. The Rocket War is a Greek festival and tradition where a pair of churches simulate a battle by launching rockets. The objective? Hit the bell of the opposing church. This is how leeches move on land. This is the Wear Boots smartwatch, and it comes with in-ear headphones. This is how you take them out. A magnet holds them in place and charges their battery. What you see on the screen is not Photoshop. It is a real car. It is a modified and widened version of a Volkswagen van. It measures almost 3 meters wide and has its own battery. The Academy of Motion Arts and Sciences trains stunt doubles to simulate giving and receiving blows, so they look as realistic as possible. This popular photograph by Terry Bavers is an example of how easily your brain can be fooled. You first see a man running in the snow. Torotech is a fluorescent and phosphorescent road paint for safety signage on highways. The paint absorbs sunlight during the day and shines for up to 8 hours at night. It should be on all roads in the world. This is how fireworks look from a camera aboard a drone. Don't try it, it's illegal. What you see on the screen is not a park with many trees. It's just a cashew tree, the largest walnut tree in the world. It covers an area of 8,000 meters. This is the only trunk. Everything else is branches. Climbing to this move is known as a dino. It is a difficult move that requires strength, precision, control, and power. Toby Seagard holds the record for the longest dino in the world. It measures 2 meters and 96 centimeters. Kangaroos can be said to have 5 legs. See how they use their tail as if it were another limb. Not only for walking, but also to maintain balance and support themselves while kicking. This is what is called entrepreneurship. The misfortune of some is an opportunity for others. Did you know that in Mexico, in the state of Yucatan, there is a town named after Microsoft's console? At least, that's how it's written. It's pronounced Xbox. This is how numbers are engraved on camera lenses, with the help of a real-time X-ray machine. In this video, we can see the larvae inside jumping beans. See how they propel themselves to jump. Did you know there is a beer brewing simulator video game? It's called Brewmaster. On the set of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, there was a squirrel training camp. Here they were taught to open fake nuts and place them in the machine. They were also taught to kick people. On the 94th floor of the John Hancock Center building in Chicago, there is a platform that can tilt 33 degrees forward so people can enjoy the city views as if they were floating. Would you do it? To promote the new horror movie Smile, the marketing studio hired dozens of actors to attend public events and smile continuously at people and cameras in sync. The Grundtvig Church in Denmark looks a lot like the Shrek Church, where Fiona almost marries Lord Farquaad. Look at the windows, materials, and altar. Barnaby Dixon is one of the world's most famous puppeteers. These are his puppets. At first glance, they don't seem like much, but see what happens when they are put on. His fingers control all parts of the character using hinges, levers, and other mechanisms. In some, both hands are used. Their movements are very fluid, almost real. The American coot has some of the weirdest legs in the animal kingdom. It has lobes that allow it to walk on floating plants and swim at great speed. The remote village of Nagoro in Japan was once home to hundreds of residents. Over time, the population dramatically decreased. Today, only about 30 people live here. To not feel so alone, Ayano Tsumiki knits and distributes hundreds of dolls throughout the city, the abandoned school, the streets, and the bus stops. I don't know if it's sad or the perfect setting for a horror movie. If you do sidecar racing, it is an extremely dangerous sport where two riders control the movements of this three-wheeled vehicle. One accelerates and brakes, while the other uses their body to turn and spin. This is what happens when you order the $1,000 steak at the Rhine restaurant in Dubai. It has edible gold sheets. Apparently, it is not something new for cats to steal people's food. Look at how several painters from the 18th century immortalized these kitten thefts. Volvo trucks have one of the smoothest hydraulic steering systems in the world. To test it, they had a hamster turn the steering wheel on a hilly road, all with the help of a carrot. This is the flying roller coaster at the Gramben Adventure Park. Here you ride on a single rail tied to a thin harness. Would you get on? RFTK created a prototype of a gaming computer inside a shoe. I wonder if you can also use it without damaging it. Had you heard about mud volcanoes? Hot water in the depths of the earth mixes with clay, forming mud. This mixture is pushed upwards by gas pressure and comes out through the cracks to the surface. These robots help dentists prepare for dealing with troublesome children. Mountain Dew makes one of the weirdest commercials in the world. Here you can see Puppy Monkey Baby, the protagonist of one of their most famous ads. The movie Finding Nemo lied to us. Clownfish and sea turtles are not friends. See how this fish protects the anemones from the hungry turtles. In 2018, astronaut Oleg Artemyev filmed this video of the moonrise under Earth's horizon from the International Space Station. Due to atmospheric refraction, it looks like it sets before reaching the edge. This is Jaller horn, a gigantic horn that the Minnesota Vikings football team sounds every time they play. The liquid inside this toy is methylene chloride. Its vapor pressure is very high. Watch as it expands and rises as if by magic, just with the heat of the hand. It's a very popular science toy. Mars's atmosphere is about 100 times thinner than Earth's. This causes the sun's heat to escape quickly. If you were standing on this planet at noon, you would feel warmth on your feet, 24 degrees, and cold on your head, 0 degrees. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, let us know if there is anything you didn't know. I'll read you in the comments.